Rob here from Way Out West. We have a terrific gig coming up on Sunday the 7th of September with the Memphis Three and special guest Nick Charles. The Memphis Three are Fiona Boyes, Jimmy Hocking and Frank Sultana, who have all won the prestigious International Blues Challenge in Memphis. Yesterday I had a chat with Frank, who gave us an insight into the ins and outs of representing Australia in the home of the blues. Sit back and enjoy the video, and if you have not done, please hit the subscribe button and hit that like button. Thanks for joining me about the upcoming gig, the Memphis Three, September the 7th, Sunday. Frank, can you tell us the idea about the Memphis Three? What made it come about?
Well, I mean, other than just the great story of it all. So a little while after I got back, 2023, I was playing down at Port Fairy, and Jimmy does a regular thing down there at Port Fairy, and Fiona was there as well, and we ended up getting on stage with Blues Roulette, and we did a set at Port Fairy Festival, and I think that kind of just, I don't know, like sort of planted the seed in all of our heads about getting together and doing this. So it took a little while to get it together, but last year we did a run of shows, went really, really well. We got invited to play at Blues Fest, that went really well. And so we just think it's something that we might try and do sort of once or twice a year, and get out and play some shows together. It's a lot of fun. You know, we tell stories about our experiences and just, I guess, celebrating this unique thing, you know, like we are the only guys, only Aussies to win this thing, and it's kind of special, so we love to share it.
Yeah, that's for sure, mate. And I mean, most people will know, but Fiona, I think, won it in 2003, Jimmy in 2005, and yourself, Frank, 2023. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, it's funny, over a 20-year period, you'd think there'd be a lot of differences, but at the end of the day, we actually kind of, our stories have got a lot of similarities and our experiences have got a lot of similarities. And so the show's fun because we get to talk a little bit about all of that stuff. And yeah, sort of, I think the fans enjoy hearing our stories and sharing our experiences, you know, and we really enjoy doing it. So it's a lot of fun.
And also, I believe you got a special guest on the day.
Yeah, so we've got Nick Charles coming in to do a set to open. And so Nick was, obviously, you'd be aware, he competed this year in January over in Memphis, and he made it to the finals, which was an incredible effort. I was actually judging the final. So I saw Nick's performance and Nadia's actually as well, and they both did a great job. And Nick ended up picking up the best guitarist of the competition, so of the final, which is a huge thing as well. I know Acho won it back in the 90s, and so yeah, we thought we'd invite Nick along, and he's going to come along and do a set to open the day.
Fantastic. Now, for those that don't know, the International Blues Challenge is held in Memphis in January of each year. How does one get to represent Australia in Memphis at an International Blues Challenge?
So the Blues Challenge is coordinated and run by the Memphis Blues Foundation, and blues societies and blues clubs around the world are affiliated with the Memphis Blues Foundation. And if you are affiliated, then you can then submit artists to go and compete every year. And so usually around this time of the year, in fact, blues societies around the world do their own competition, and the winners of that end up representing their blues society and their blues club over in Memphis. So in a couple of weeks, the Sydney finals will be on. I saw that 8 Ball Aiken and Taya Chani got through on the weekend for the Brisbane Blues Society, which is great. That's the first time that Brisbane are sending anyone over there, which is really cool. And yeah, Adelaide and Melbourne are in the process of doing that as well. So yeah, that's how you kind of get over there.
And how, when you get over there, how many heats are there, and how long do you get to play for?
So it's an interesting week. It starts on the Tuesday night. They do some showcase shows as far as regions and countries. So they'll have different clubs along Beale Street, all representing different countries and different areas of America that are being represented by particular societies. So that's kind of a showcase night. And then the competition itself starts on the Wednesday night. You do 25-minute sets with about 8 or 9 other contestants in your group. Then Thursday night is a repeat of that in the same venue with a reverse order. And then the points are accumulated from Wednesday and Thursday. And then 2 from each venue go through to Friday night to the semi-finals. And then it's rinse and repeat. Friday night, they change the set time to 30 minutes just to kind of keep you on your toes. And you compete again. And then on Friday night, they announce 6 solos and 6 bands that'll go through to play at the Orpheum Theatre in Memphis for the final on the Saturday. So it's Wednesday to Saturday, basically.
And how beautiful is the Orpheum Theatre? It's just a beautiful,
incredible, man.
Yeah,
it really is. Look, it's just an honor to have. I remember feeling just that it was just great to have made it to the final. Really, I honestly just felt like whatever happened was going to happen, and it was just such a pleasure to be there. It's a beautiful 1930s kind of Art Deco building. It's been fully restored. It's sort of similar in ways to places like maybe the State Theatre in Sydney. I can sort of relate it to. Beautiful ornate theatre, holds about 3,000 people, and yeah, it's fantastic.
And how is being in a competition like that different from say a normal gig?
Completely different, man. It was so strange. Like all the musicians were kind of talking amongst ourselves about just how odd it felt to be competing against each other rather than just playing gigs, And but for me, it was just a great experience. It was just good to be there. Obviously, I wanted to do as well as I could, but I also understand that it's kind of, it's just music, isn't it? It's on any given day, there's three judges at each heat, and on any given day, their opinion will make or break your effort, So I tried not to take it too seriously and just have a lot of fun with it, and just embrace it. It was such a great feeling to be on Beale Street. I got to go to Gracelands. I got to record at Sun Studios. I spent 10 days in rural Mississippi, down in Clarksdale afterwards. I saw an NBA basketball game. Like, it was just an amazing experience, regardless of how it ended up, I think. So, but yeah, it's strange to compete when you're an artist and you just want to have fun. And, the Yanks really take it quite seriously. I noticed, like, the competition side of it. But, the Europeans were pretty chilled. I mean, a lot of the Americans were chilled too. I got to meet some of the Canadian artists and, befriended a couple of them, and they were all just really lovely, man. It was cool.
And how do you go about putting a set together for a competition like that? Is it really important to have your own stuff showcased as well? So you're not just doing covers and things like that.
I didn't do any covers. Everybody was a bit different. Some people did some covers. Some people did all covers. There's a pretty strict criteria to the competition. So there's four criteria, being blues content, originality, guitar playing, engagement with the audience. And so I just kind of thought, well, I'm just going to do original songs, because that, I guess, is about as original as you can be, right? It is as original as you can be. So I didn't do any covers at all. And, just told stories, engaged with the audience, just tried to really just tick off all the criteria, really. If anybody's going, and that would probably be my only advice, is just literally look at it as 4 very specific criteria. And that's what they're judging on. And having been a judge this year, actually, it was very, very straightforward. It was just literally those criteria scored out of 10, added up. So yeah, I guess songs that had felt like they were strong songs in my set over the years that I've been playing. And yeah, what I felt, I guess, gave me the best chance.
And when you mentioned engaging the audience, the 3 of you, Fiona, Jimmy, and yourself, I mean, you're all fantastic musicians, songwriters, but that's where your strength is too, engaging the audience.
I definitely see that thread through the 3 of us. Fiona is an incredible, She has an incredible stage presence. She engages so well with the audience. She's hilarious. Her songs have got such sort of humorous content and really interesting old timey kind of vibes to them. And Jimmy was the kind of the real. He shook it up, man. Like he comes out of this Screaming Jets rock background, and here he is playing mandolin and telling these hilarious stories. So it just gels really, really nicely, man.
That's true. Now, I'll come back to the shack up in a second, but just one more thing about Memphis. It gets pretty cold there in January.
It certainly does. So the year I competed, it got down to just below zero. This January, just gone, when I was over there, it snowed on the Saturday night, so it got well below zero. But yeah, there was an ice storm in 2023. I was kind of stranded in Memphis for an extra 2 days. Couldn't get out of Memphis because of the ice. So yeah, it's an interesting time of the year. But I think that's part of why they do it. It sort of draws people to Memphis at a time perhaps when a lot of people don't go because it's so cold. But I kind of like it. It's really fun, and it's so different for an Australian to be, to fly out of. I recall, this year I flew out of Sydney. It was like 30 degrees, and landed in Memphis, and it was zero. So it's kind of an interesting experience.
Yeah. Now tell us about the shack up in Clarksdale.
Oh man, it's one of the coolest places I've ever been, and that's saying something in that area. A couple of, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, they were knocking down a lot of the shotgun shacks in Mississippi, rural Mississippi. Shotgun shack literally means if you open the front door and shot a gun through the house, it wouldn't hit anything and it would just go out the back door. They're literally a one-room shack, and where a lot of people lived in the early 1900s, during that, I guess, that classic Delta Mississippi blues period. And so a lot of them were getting knocked down and redeveloped. And so this guy decided to buy up quite a bunch of them and transport them over to an old cotton field area and set them up again and rent them out basically as Airbnb. And so you get to stay. The insides have all been kind of modernized. There's heating, there's aircon, beautiful bathrooms, but all very rustic. And you can stay on this plantation. And so it's surrounded by all the old equipment, the old cotton processing equipment and things like that. And so, yeah, and then the main shed at the front is now like a bar and a venue. So it's a really cool place to stay.
It is. It is. My first time there was, we went over, there was a whole group of us with Brian Wise's tour. And I'm a real novice, so I get into my room and I thought, I'll just plug in my electric plug. And I did plug in the wrong electric plug, and I blew the electricity in the whole spot. And the guy came running in saying, "What did you do?" And I said, "I didn't do anything." He looked over at the outlet and it was black everywhere. It threw me across the room. I could have killed myself. But I couldn't say I didn't do anything because the whole thing was black and where the plug was. Oh, God, Jesus.
That's incredible. Wow. Yeah, it's a really interesting joint, man. And walking around the grounds, like I said, they've got all the old cotton processing machinery, and this is all pre kind of industrialized part too. So it's a lot of it was, manual hand operated machinery. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and they got the old commissary over there, and it's an interesting place. It sure is. Now, tell us. Let's go back
to. When was the last time you were there, Rob?
I was actually there about 3 years ago. There was we did another tour with some. I've been there 3 times, but we did another little tour. So with some mates, and we stayed there. So it was pretty good. Yeah, and it's not that far from Clarksdale itself. It's just a short ride into town.
It's like a 5-10 minute drive.
Yeah.
I sort of split up my stays every time I go to Clarksdale, because I really enjoy staying at Ground Zero Blues Club times there as well, which is the bar that Morgan Freeman owns in
Mm,
Clarksdale itself.
mm,
And so it's kind of both, they're both cool. They're just very different. It means you can sort of walk out the front door of Ground Zero and walk around anywhere in Clarksdale, which you
mm,
can't quite do at
mm,
Shack Up. But
mm.
as far as sitting on the front porch of those
Yeah,
shacks
yeah,
and just enjoying the atmosphere, it doesn't get much better than Shack Up, man.
that's for sure, man. Now back to the WOW gig. How does the afternoon pan
Yes.
out? You've told us that Nick will sort of open up. So do are you
Yep.
three on stage all together, or you do a little bit of individual stuff, or?
Absolutely. No, no, we're on stage together. We sort of take it in turns, singing the lead,
Hmm.
and the other. We just accompany each other on each
Hmm.
other's songs, and we tell a bunch of stories about, maybe the song that we're playing or how that relates to an experience that we had in Memphis. And no, no, it's a full show. We play together the whole time. So I normally play resonator and a bit of electric. Fiona brings her cigar boxes, and Jimmy's mostly on mandolin and a bit of acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it's interesting. Some blues people mightn't realise that the mandolin was a very integral part of blues.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Yank Ratchell. I
Absolutely.
know Jimmy's a big fan of Yank. I think it's Ratchell. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or not, but yeah,
Right, right.
yeah. So if the people don't
Yeah, no,
know,
it's fantastic.
yeah,
It's such a good feel, and it sort of brings a real rootsy,
mm,
almost bluegrass feel to the
mm,
things we're doing, and
mm,
it's just really nice contrast. So a resonator has that really lovely sort of metallic blues sound to it, and then, like I said, Fee's just usually on the slide playing
mm,
her 4 string, 3 string
mm,
cigar boxes, and so each of us play instruments with quite different tone,
mm,
and it seems to complement each other very, very well.
for sure. And what about? Are there any thoughts of you all getting together in the recording studio?
There certainly is. It's just a matter of getting the time.
Mm,
So all three of us are quite busy doing
mm,
our own
mm,
thing, and Jimmy in particular is quite busy with the Screaming Jets, and
mm,
that takes up a fair bit of his time. So, but we definitely are planning to do that. We want to try and get together, before the end of the year, and spend a couple of days somewhere nice
mm.
and record something. Definitely, yeah.
Oh, sensational. Now, each of you have carved out incredible careers in your own rights here and overseas. And I know sensational musicians, but I think we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun on with this gig. There, like you said, there'll be a lot of
That's the
jokes.
plan, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll be,
That's certainly how it turned out. I mean,
yeah.
when we first got together, honestly, we kind of went through, this was last year, we did a run of shows, Victoria, New South Wales, and we just kind of thought, well, okay, how are we going to structure this? We thought, okay, rather than each of us playing on our own,
Mm,
we just thought it would just be so much more fun to
mm,
just have it as almost like a songwriter
mm,
in the round kind of
mm,
feel,
mm,
and just bounce off each other, and we didn't really rehearse it.
mm,
We didn't rehearse it.
mm,
We just kind of thought, well, we'll throw out these songs and complement each other, and it's just worked out so well.
yeah.
Then when we did Blues Fest early in the year, we got together the day before and did a bit of a run through in our friend's lounge room up on the Gold Coast, and again, it was just so easy and free
Mm,
flowing,
mm,
um, and we just seemed like a natural fit. It
mm,
really does. Even though we're all quite different in the way
mm,
we approach
mm,
the blues,
mm.
it all just seems to really, really work.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait, mate. So, that's about
Yeah,
all I've
same.
got today. Thanks for taking the time to have a chat. This is one we're really looking forward to. It's one out of the box. And we're so happy that you chose our venue to come and, it's a long way from
Absolutely.
Byron Bay, and so thank you
Yeah.
so much,
No,
Frank.
no, no, no. We love it. I love
Yeah,
coming to Way Out West, and
yeah,
you're a big supporter, and we love you, mate. And so
yeah.
we're really looking forward to coming down.
All right, mate. All the best. Safe travels, and we'll see you in what, a week and a half or something.